All right, now we shall see various components and various modules that we are going to cover in Reinvent Your Practice program. Now, as we already know what we want to achieve, so I'll just skip that part and we'll start with the actual content part. Now, Reinvent Your Practice is, I have segmented it in 4 phases. Now, this, even though I am calling those phases, and these phases have various modules in them as you can see it here, many of these phases and these modules are going to be run simultaneously. Means they are not going to run sequentially, they will be run simultaneously. I mean, not all 12 modules or not all 4 phases at a time, but some of them which we are going to decide before starting the program, the initial planning, and these are going to be run simultaneously. So that is one thing some of you have asked how it's going to be. So that is the thing. Now let us see and start with the first phase. Now, as you can see, our first phase is all about reinventing your goals, finding out what you really want. There might be certain things that I am going to assume, and there are going to be certain things that you are going to tell me. So I always prefer the second approach. Okay, instead of any assumption, we will be actually evaluating your current needs. And I mean, there are going to be 2 points, point A and point B. Point A is where you are today, your practice is today. Point B is where you want to take it to. So we will be deciding what is point B, and then we'll be devising the path for taking you and your practice from point A to point B. It's that simple. So in phase 1, we are going to cover all these things. We are going to take inventory, your professional skills, your personal skills, your management skills, your practice's current level. We are going to check about your patients, what kind of patients you are having, what kind of patients you want to treat, and all those things that will help us in actually analyzing where you are today. So that is going to be our first module. Second module is we are going to define the goals based on the information that you give in first module. First module is point A, second module is our point B, where you want to take it. So we are going to reinvent goals, we are going to create different roadmaps to achieve those goals. We are going to create action plans, okay, or you can say action plan outlines for achieving those goals. If you are having team, then we are going to work out how we can use your team members, how we can make them involved and committed to your goals, and so that they will also be actively involved in these things. Third module is systemization. If you want free time, if you want more income, if you want to enjoy your practice, then you should learn to delegate. But to delegate, you need to have systems, you need to have procedures, you need to have policies. And by this, I do not mean something that you need at NABH level. You don't have to submit these procedures and processes to someone else. We need this to actually run your practice in real world. So everything, when we say systems, then everything is going to be very, very practical. You will be surprised that there are some things that I always advocate. One thing is patient grid matrix that I created something around 2009, and that has been one of the most important tools in analyzing your practice on day-to-day basis. And best part is, it doesn't take even a single minute from you. Your staff does that, and your staff needs probably 2-3 minutes to operate that matrix. So there are so many other tools that we are going to discuss about the tools as well as the media vehicles that we are going to use when it comes to marketing and when it comes to systemizing your practice. So that time we'll discuss those in detail. So systemization will set you free. Okay, nothing else can do that for you, but your systems will set you free. Then we are going to find out who are your ideal patients. We are going to create patient avatar, and there will be different patient avatars, like what kind of person your patient is normally, where does he live, what kind of social status he is having or she is having, what kind of financial status they are having, what are they concerned about the treatments that you want to do. All those things we are going to do data analysis for that. We are going to approach this data with a plan, how we are going to find similar patients, or we call that look-alike patients. Okay, so that we can reach those patients in non-threatening way. We are going to train our patients. We are going to train our patients in various things, but most important is to value the treatment they are getting from you, value your expertise, refer their friends, families, and their acquaintances actively to your practice. We are going to train patients in that, and in this first phase we are going to plan all those things. We are going to analyze these things. So that will help us in creating our roadmap, which is our phase 2. So based on your goals, we are going to create your practice roadmap. This particular roadmap will also work as our guide. Basically, it will tell us whether we are on right path, or we are diverting, or we are going in exactly opposite direction. So in this particular roadmap, now we are going to formulate various strategies: how to select patients, where to find them, what media to use. That is going to be, this is where it will, marketing will come in picture actually. Conversion improvement, that is again very important thing. It's of no use if you are getting say 100 patients in a day, you are presenting your procedure to say 20-30 of those patients, and only 1 or 2 are accepting those procedures. It does mean that there is huge potential, there is huge gap in what people are, in the number of patients that are coming into your practice and the actual conversions that are occurring. So conversion improvement, and this conversion improvement is going to need your own personal involvement also. There are certain things, around 80-90% of the things we are going to get those done by your staff, your team. But certain things where you personally are interacting with patients, then we are going to need your involvement in that, and conversion improvement is one of those things. This thing alone will help you increase your revenue without seeing a single extra patient throughout the month. Conversion improvement is tremendously important, and it's a fantastic concept. I have devised I think 6 to 7 tools for that that will help you in improving your conversion. That involves right from qualifying patients, then takeaway selling is another tool in that. Questionnaires we develop for various of your treatments. Case presentation is another important thing. If you are doing that, then we'll be discussing that. If your staff is doing that, then we'll be teaching them how to do it more effectively. Aligning your vision, and then taking that vision and implementing those things with help of your staff. So that is going to be our 5th module. We are starting here with real world actions. Now module 6 is going to be VIP practice. Now VIP is a visibility improvement program. Here we are going to make you kind of famous in your own world of patient, or you can call that patient universe. We are going to devise and we are going to create lots and lots of content. This content is for patients basically, so it's going to be in very simple language. I personally prefer that I will create the content, then give it to you and you edit that content. So it's that way. If I ask you to write say 25-page ebook for your patients for say 5 of your treatments, it will take probably years and years. But if I give you, okay, these are 5 ebooks that we have written specially for you, now you go and edit that the way you want it. So probably in a month's time you are going to edit that. So that is how we are going to go ahead about content planning, content creation, media. In one of other videos we are going to discuss about the media vehicles, so we'll go in detail in that. Module 7 is your team. Team development, team delegation is of utmost importance if you really want to develop, if you really want to grow your practice, if you really want to reinvent your practice. You cannot do anything alone, so you need your team. And many times we don't train our team members. If we are training them, then we don't train them in those things that are going to free your time. If you remember, in last phase we have talked about systemization of your practice. So all those things we want to get it done from your staff. So that is going to be module 7. Now once we are ready with all these things, then we are going to divide everything in all our monthly and weekly action steps. So what we will be looking at is, once our roadmap is ready, each step will be converted into action steps that will be divided into weekly and monthly plans. Now this will help, just like roadmap, this will help us in tracking the progress we are making on weekly and monthly basis. So these are going to be kind of what we say outreach programs, where we are going to handle various promotional activities. Those activities will be planned, there will be tasks created, each team member will be given those tasks, you will be given all those tasks, my team will be involved in this, and everybody will do their own part in that. If it is something that we need to do offline, then we'll be planning accordingly. If it is something that we need to do online, then we'll be planning it accordingly. So all these promo activities, campaigns, designing those campaigns, executing those campaigns, that will be covered in this promotions module. Time mastery. Once we are going through all these things, one thing we are going to fall short of is time. So we are going to protect your own time in such a way that assuming that it's the most precious commodity in your practice world. So how to master time? There are certain time vampires, and how we can avoid those. Prioritizing your time, and this is much more than simply making a list and chalking it off. I'm going to give you some concepts that are guaranteed to improve your productivity by at least 2, 3, 4 times. These tools are that powerful. So we'll be looking at your time mastery. Then next come personal development, yours as well as your staff members. Unless and until you are going to learn some new skills, it's going to be difficult to reinvent your practice. Now, I don't mean to say that you lack certain skills, okay, but there might be some things that you are either not aware, or you are already aware of those things but you are not practicing those things. So we will be working on your own personal development also, as well as your staff members. So that is going to be module 10. Now all these things we never expect and we never assume that everything will go in one straight line. It never goes that way. So we will be continuously checking, tracking, monitoring, analyzing these activities, these things, and we will be making corrective adjustments on those. There will be some benchmarks that we'll be keeping. Financials is one thing. Patient number is another matrix that we will be checking out. Number of treatments, types of treatments, the time, or you can call your own time log, that we'll be checking. Your cash flow versus your profit, all those things will help us in actually seeing whether we are on right track or not. Autonomy, how we are executing these things. If you choose not to come to your practice for, let's say, 5 days, what happens to it? We'll be seeing that. Will you be earning anything during those 5 days, or it will be a total holiday for your staff, and that way. So in short, what kind of autonomy, or at what level you can enjoy autonomy, that will be our module 12. Now again, as I told you, all these modules, they are not sequential modules, they are simultaneous modules. Means probably we'll be working on 2 or 3 or 4 at a time, depends on at what stage of reinventing we are. Based on that, we'll be choosing these modules, and from that point onwards we'll be working on that. So as I told you, okay, you can start enjoying all the benefits that I have mentioned at this point. Now we'll see how you are going to achieve this, what kind of financial investment is needed, what kind of time investment is needed, what kind of efforts investment is needed in this, so that it will give you clear idea. And because that is again an important part, even though if you are committed to everything, but you are not ready to pour in time, efforts and money into this program, then we are not going to start. It's that important. So let's discuss about that part.